where the river has two names. Just across the edge of something, there is a river. The water is celadon blue. The sun glows overhead so that the river has no shadows. There are only the dots of dark under minnows nudging along. The riverbank is met by stones woven with moss and the steps of two passers-by. Zhang walks along the Sichuan River and Japu Wayampi along the Oyapoki. A paw rustles, then parts the grass on the opposite bank. Each of its steps imprints a hush in the gravel. The animal lowers its head and takes a drink. It appears as a fox to Zhang. He knits his brows and narrows his eyes in its direction. The fox's reflection quivers each time its tongue hooks the water upwards to its mouth. Zhang continues to stare. Japu asks,
"What's wrong?"
I do not trust her, that fox. She wants me to cross the river.
Zhang's gaze remains fixed.
"What do you mean?"
She has shown up at my door on several nights, appearing as a woman with fair skin and soft eyes. She sits on the border of human and animal, of flesh and spirit. But I still do not know if her presence is good or evil, or if she intends to deceive me.
The animal appears as a jaguar to Japu.
I tread carefully with jaguars too. They are very wise beings. But the boundaries between animals and humans are drawn differently for me. I know that we share a common humanity beneath the skins of our distinct bodies, even though I cannot see it.
I understand. So this animal before us is a person just like you and me?
Zhang asks.
In the ancient times of our creation, all animals were people. They talked just like us, and also had human shape. All the stories about the formation of Earth and humanity involve different animals that were people and played a part in the way things are. But now, we wear different bodies, and the animals have lost their speech. Only shamans can tell that they are just like people, simply dressed in other skins. What is your relationship to the animal?
I am not the fox, as you are not me, but we are the same. It is not just our insides that we share.
Japu turns to him with a puzzled expression. Zhang kneels down. His jacket's silk brushes against the dirt. He dips his hand into the water and lifts it, feeling the coolness trickle into the wrinkles of his palm and down the tip of his middle finger. A drop collects at the edge of his nail, refracting the light.
Imagine an infinite matrix of water droplets. Imagine we, the fox, the fish, the trees, the sun, the myriad things are each a droplet. In every sphere, you can see all other spheres reflected in it. I am not you, but I hold every part of you within me.
Japu nods. Zhang and Japu continue down the river. The grass, a green like the first of spring, bends under their feet but uprights again. The roots of a hanging willow comb the stream. The river's white hairs tangle and churn through the rocks, dotting the bend a little further along. Zhang begins.
There was once nothing, and the universe existed in a primordial state like this water. Over thousands of years, this chaos coalesced into a cosmic egg. Yin and Yang were in harmony, and a horned giant named Pengu awoke inside this egg.
Zhang looks to the horizon.
Pengu swung his axe, cleaving Yin from Yang, the earth from the sky.
So this is how your world came into being?
No, I don't believe in this story.
Zhang says.
Then why do you tell it?
It allows us to understand the nature of chaos and the balance of yin and yang in our lives. Do you tell a creation story?
Japu explains.
We have many stories about the creation of our world and all the pieces in it when the primordial festivities were held. It was through celebration that many of the things in this river were created. Look, here.
He points to a small island where the river widens. Where it meets the current, the water gurgles, diverges, and a liquid sheet brushes over the surface of the flat rock.
This platform is where the primordial festivities were held, but it was much bigger back then. Back when the earth was still soft, the Tujuju stork people asked the great serpent to make them a stretch of river. So, the great serpent asked the crab people to build the platform, and they built it with white clay and sand. They smoothed the platform on their backs. That's why the backs of crabs are smooth. But the two kinds of crab people that were building it got into a fight that destroyed half of the platform and cut each other's backs with a machete, and you can still see the scars on their backs today. This is part of our history, and we must keep telling it so our history remains alive in people's memory.
Zhang replies.
My world too has a great serpent. Her name is Nuwa. Her hands molded each human out of yellow clay. And after a battle of the deities, she patched the holes in the sky and used the legs of a tortoise to mend the pillars holding up the heavens. She has ventured to your world too?
The Great Serpent is a very important being for our world, the owner and caretaker of the river and fish. Many of our ancestors were born from the larva that appeared on the body of the Great Serpent they had slain. During the great festivities, the bird people gathered and dipped into the ink that pooled in the serpent's belly, each choosing their favorite colors. And that's why the birds are bright with color today, as are the fish. And there are places that have been formed by the great snake after different events in the past, like whole ponds that still glisten where the serpent's body once stirred.
There is a murmur, a roar, a crash, as Zhang and Jiapu approach. The sky expands before them and unspools a waterfall to the canyon not far below. Jiapu's left foot slides along a wet stone. He tells another story about how some of the stones were once clay pots made by the bee people for the festivities, and he shows Zhang a mark on one of the stones that still bears a trace of that past. The mist washes their faces, and they peer back at the water. Pausing before the cliff's edge, Zhang recites.
The highest good is like water. Water is fluid, soft, and yielding. But water will wear away rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong. It comes close to the way.
The rivers, yes, all our land is sacred. We seek to remember the traces it bears of our past. From it, you can learn many lessons. Listen and see. They're all around us.
The river does not speak to me. The heaven and the earth do not speak. Yet the seasons turn and the 10,000 things grow.
Zhang replies.
To me, the river is the lesson itself.